Alright guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to take your beats from this to this. And I'm going to help you take your piano melodies from this to this. But first I want to start off by saying thank you for clicking on this video, man. If you fuck with the content, if this type of content is really helping you out, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It really supports me. I'm trying to grow this channel to 1,000 by the end of the year. By the end of next year, that's my New Year's goal. Okay, man, let's get into it. Alright, so first I want to break down a simplified version of the chord progression that I previously showed you. The whole chord progression is really just about bringing in and taking away notes that are adding tension to the progression. So for this very first chord, you can see that this is actually how it starts. So all I did was move that up an octave, so it gives it a little more range for the melody. And then for the second chord, I got this same note and just dropped it down 2 semitones, and then I added this note right here, and so that creates this chord. And you can just hear that little extra tension that you get from, you know, you going from this note to this note. And then all I did again was just I took away this this note right here, and I just let that chord play again. And then I brought back this note, high note, and I put it up 2 semitones like this. And then I put this note up a semitone, and then I added this extra note right here, and that created this chord. And that's really the entire chord progression. That's where all like the tension and like the dark vibes coming from. And then what I did with this one, which is the exact same chord progression, but just as you can see, I just staggered the notes. And then that little top, those little top notes, I turned them into a part of the melody. So it's really just the same note over here, but I put it over here as a more rhythmic, like melodic type sound. And that's how that sounds. And then all I did was reuse that same chord, added these 2 notes, and then this little top melody within the scale of F minor. So let me just show you that. And this little part only plays in the intro. I don't have that playing throughout the track. That's the entire track. And really the key to making these chords sound a lot more like melodic and like dark is staggering the notes like this. So this note hits, and then this note hits, and that just creates a lot more tension in the track. And then I just added this to add a little more of a drop to the next section. And all this is this same progression, copy it over, drop down to 5 semitones. Okay, so now that we have that, the next part's really simple. I just got a guitar preset from Xband, and then I just played these notes, which is, you can see the ghost notes. It's really just following chord progression. So I'm hitting notes inside the chord progression and also outside, so that track has a more, you know, it pulls it together. Like it's not random notes that are outside of the scale. So you can see all the notes are either inside the scale or right next to it, just to add a little more tension. And I even go outside of the scale right here just to add a little more tension to that. And then I pitched it up an octave, added portal to it, and it's using the Flutter Octaves preset, and that's how that sounds. And then again, I just dropped the 5 semitones. And so this is how that sounds all together. now we're gonna go ahead and get into the drums. Drums is also really simple. It's all about bounce, really. You don't want to go too crazy on these drums, because then you won't be like the rapper won't be able to flow on it properly. Here's how the drums sound. This is just very simple trap drum. Got a little hi-hat pattern. I feel like this is where most of the rhythm comes from. These little pockets add a lot more rhythm to the entire track. So the key is to play within those pockets when you're using your claps, your drums, all this extra stuff. And so you can see that most of the accent drums are all hitting within those little pockets. And then the chord progression just follows the root note and a couple other notes. So go ahead and go to our 808, and I can show you that this just follows the root note, and it's just pitched up twice. And then I have some extra notes right here playing outside of that scale. So that's how it sounds. So that's really it. Rest of the track is just arranging, adding a little more variations. Like I said, I added this little top melody right here only for the intro that doesn't play anywhere else, and also parts where there's breaks. I made sure to add that little melody back in. Do the exact same thing with your drums. I have maybe 3 variations for the hi-hats, 3 variations for the snares. Well, actually the hi-hats are all the same, but the snares are different, have multiple 808s, and this just adds a lot more interest to your track, so it doesn't sound like you just fucking plop down 808, clap, hi-hat, and just pasted it 4 times over. It just makes your track a lot more unique, in my opinion. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you create a hard piano beat, man. All right, now that I showed you how to create that, I'm gonna go ahead and create a beat from scratch using that method and those tips and all that. Also, if you made it this far in the video, I'd highly appreciate it if you left a like and a comment and a subscription if you really fuck with the video. It really helps out. I want to try to get to 1,000 before the end of the year, so that's my New Year's goal. So if I get to 1,000 before the end of the year, maybe I'll drop a drum kit or something. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet, but also make sure that if you made it this far, dude, I'm gonna be live right after I drop this video. So if you're watching this video within 24 hours of like it being released, I'm on Twitch right now, or I'm also on YouTube live, so hop in there. If you just want to be able to catch any other live, just go ahead and follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll be able to update whenever I'm live, whenever I post on there. BPM, I'm gonna set it a little faster because I like having a little bit of faster BPM when I'm doing these type of beats. So maybe like 156. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and go on to Keyscape. I'm gonna pick out just a really chill piano, something that sounds good, has a good bit of reverb on it. It just sounds nice and clean. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and with my MIDI keyboard, I'm gonna go ahead and play just one chord that I really fuck with, and I'm gonna go ahead and find other chords that I fuck with that sound good with it. Alright, so I really fuck with that chord. I'm gonna go ahead and record that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna quantize it, get it moved over here. And then I'm just gonna cut out those bits right here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and find another chord. Alright, so I fuck with that chord. No, wait, that's wrong. Play that again. Make sure these notes aren't too far apart, because then it won't sound good. And right now we're just getting our bass chord progression, but we'll go ahead and add our little extra notes and all that afterwards. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm just rearranging the same notes within the octave, just so I can get a better sounding chord, or more realistic sounding chord too, because a human probably isn't going to play a chord like this. They're going to play it more like notes that are near each other. I just like finding the inversions of the chords so I can make the melody sound a lot more natural. Alright, I like how that sounds. Go ahead and find one more chord, 2 more chords maybe. So I like that chord. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing. Quantize it, make sure everything's on time. Rearrange the notes if they're too close to each other like that. Drop a note like that. I realize that these 2 notes are too close to each other, so they might clash. I'll just do this. So yeah, I don't like how that sounds. Just rearrange it. Kind of like the way that's going, but maybe if I do it more like this. Okay, so I like that. I'm gonna copy this chord, and then I'm gonna go back to this note over here. And so what that's gonna be doing is resolving this little tension between these two notes. And then I'm just gonna make this go down here. So we still have a little bit of tension in the bass. I actually don't like how that sounds either. So maybe I'll just go up. So I really like how that sounds. I'm just gonna go ahead and add some more notes here. Make it a little more interesting. And actually, I want to go ahead and get these notes, and I'm gonna put them up here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and throw this one up here as well. And so I really like how that sounds. I think it adds a lot of range to the chord. I'm gonna go ahead and invert a little more of these and just add more variation to it, basically. And what I can do is bring these back down for this part of the chord, this part of the progression. And then what I like to do is just within the same key, I'll just play notes that might sound good. So I'll go up an octave or two. So that doesn't sound good, but I just play around like that until I find something. So I don't like how this is actually clashing, so I'm actually just gonna bring that back down. Kind of like that sounds. Okay, so I fuck with that. I'm just gonna keep looking for more variations on that, and then I'll figure something out. I like that better. Move that up here. Quantize that as well. It's way off, but it works. I can just fix that. So I like how that sounds. I'm gonna go ahead and just copy this over, and then what I'm gonna start doing now is just messing around with these notes so that I can see what kind of interesting variations I can add. So like more notes like that, see what that sounds like. Maybe move this down here, get rid of this note, and then maybe have a note play right here. So I like this little rising, like this note, and this note. So I'm gonna actually have that repeat over here. So what I'll do is make this hit right here, and then I'll do that again over here. But this time I'll make the note, the third note, like this note instead. And so that just adds a little more like consistency in the whole melody, you know? This little run right here, this note, and these three notes add a little bit of an ending to the chord progression so that it feels complete and it doesn't feel like too jarring when you start repeating again. So now what I can do is copy this over again, and I'm just gonna listen over and see what little things I can change to make it interesting in the second half. So this already sounds pretty good, but you want to go ahead and humanize it so it doesn't sound as robotic, because right now it just sounds like a machine's playing it. So what I like to do is go in here and just move these notes a little bit. It's one of the tricks. Just move these notes around, make them hit at different times, just so it's more realistic. And now the final step is I'm going to do Control A, click on this, bring it down a little bit, do randomize. This just adds a little more vibe to it, you know what I'm saying? Makes it a little more believable, I guess. I think that's it for the piano. We're gonna go ahead and just find an extra instrument like a guitar or choir, something like that, and just add a little more uniqueness to the melody, a little more vibe. I think I'm gonna go with, and then make it end on this last note. Actually, that sounds good. And I'm just gonna pick a little different choir just so it doesn't sound as high pitched. And I'm gonna just turn the attack up. So I like how that sounds. So what I want to do actually is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play this into Edison and just get a pitch down version or just a different version of it. And then let's just turn it down like a couple semitones. Okay, I really like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just split this and get them all rendered out. Alright guys, so we have our audio clips. Go ahead and start on our drums. Alright, and now we're just gonna go and create some pockets in our rhythm. Then go ahead and pick out an 808. I think the best 808 for these type of beats is always gonna be a spins, but you could always go ahead and vary that if you feel like you like something else. And I actually want to make this a little different, so I just want a nice hard-hitting kick, boost it a little bit. Like how that sounds. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one down a little bit. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little more percussion. I like how that sounds as well. And then I'm just gonna make that hi-hat repeat on that same note every time. Yeah, that's definitely it. That's definitely it. Okay. All right. So we're done with the drums. We're done with the melody. We're gonna go ahead and lay that out. Some real simple shit. You never go too crazy, but you do gotta go a little crazy because then nobody's gonna listen to that shit. Go ahead and start out with our intro. So I like how that sounds. I'm just vibing this too hard to this shit. Alright, so that's like our pre-chorus or whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and strip back the drums just so that they're not too crazy. So what I like to do is just make this unique, and then I'll have a unique set of drums, and I'll just take out these pockets, and then I'll maybe take out my accent snare. And now you have your verse. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make all these unique, and I'm gonna turn them down 5 semitones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the 808. I'm gonna go ahead and just start putting everything into send. I'm able to mix it. I want to put a soft flipper on the master, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and nitpick anything that's a little too loud or a little too quiet and try to bring it all to a similar level. I'm gonna take out some of the high end from the guitar, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pan the piano a little to the left, just a little bit. And then this, I'm gonna pan it to the right. And then I'm gonna go into my hi-hat with all the variation in it. I'm gonna go to all of these. I'm gonna turn them down just a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and reselect them. All R or randomize, either one. Reset this first, make sure the light's on, and then just randomize the pan. So now you'll have your little accent hi-hats going left and right, and it'll just sound a lot cooler. Now that we have all that, I'm just gonna go ahead and lay out the rest of the beat, and we'll get back to it. And also what I like to do is with my piano melody, I'll go ahead, go to the keyscape, and just find a note that I want to reverse. So I like this note. I like how that note hits. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clone this keyscape instance. I'm gonna go and get that exact note, full velocity, solo it. So I have this play right here, and then just record that. So go to on play, record, play. Let that play out, bounce that out. Here's that note. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna find out where that plays. So you hear the doo. So that's where the note hits. So what I'm gonna do is go right here, put this right there, and then reverse it. Put it right there. So now you'll have this. And I'll just do that in different spots. And there you go, man. That's how you create a track. Hard ass trap beat. End of the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked it, leave a like, comment, subscription, all that, you know, whatever the fuck everybody always says in the video. Thanks for watching. I'm also live right now, so like if you just watch the video right after it dropped, hop into my live stream.